How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to show you how I make storyboards when I don't know how to draw. So first of all, we're going to need some sort of a script. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm just going to do a beat sheet of some actions. And we're going to do 6 just to kind of fit it all on one page. Bar. First action is going to be Kyle sits at the bar. Mr. Vince approaches him. We're gonna do kind of like a drama scene where in a bar, maybe one guy owes money to the other guy. One of them gets startled and pulls out the gun, and the other one is just doing like, do you know who I am? And then, okay, anyway, this is not the right time and place. He's gonna walk away. Mr. Vince approaches him, takes a sip of his drink, and reminds Kyle of his debt. Kyle pulls out a gun in panic. Mr. Vince laughs, walks away. We should probably have some sort of a reaction shot, like, you know, when he pulls out the gun, everybody's going like, oh my god. Maybe let's not do walking in. Kyle and Vince talk at the bar. And now 6 stays alone, shocked. Clearly not the best screenplay, but at least we can storyboard it somehow. First, what we're gonna do is a reference storyboard. It could be very simple and it can be very fast as well to make. It's not necessarily very precise because you kind of have to work with whatever we can find on the internet and in other movies, but on the other hand, it can give you at least a very quick results to figure out what angles you want to do. Today we're gonna stick mostly to free websites, so I'm gonna use Shot Cafe. The other one that I like is also Film Grab. I'm gonna link them all below if you guys wanna check them out. First, probably we're gonna need some sort of establishing shot. Wide shot, there you go, bang. Let's find something more simple, like a still shot. That's what we want to do. Maybe top down, looking at the whole bar. Something like that would be cool. It would be great if we had 2 characters sitting here. Save it. So now they are talking and we want to make a scene that, for example, he sips a drink and he threatens the guy slowly. Very powerful figure. So we somewhat need to show that. Simple. Drink. Drinking. I guess drinking would work. Close-up would be a bit better. This one, as you can see, because it's looking down at the character, it doesn't give that power value to it. It's more like the weaker person. This is cool. Maybe James Bond with the scorpion on his face. Godfather. This could be our shot here, so let's take that for a moment. Kyle pulls out a gun in panic, self-defense. I guess I just have to go with gun. He needs to be like scared, so we need to put him somewhat in a position that he's quite trapped. He's not necessarily like a commanding type of gangster that say, oh, yo, what the fuck are you doing? It's gotta be more like a weaker panic position. Pulp Fiction. Maybe we can just introduce the gun on its own first before we actually see that Kyle pulled it out. What we could do is basically go from the close-up of Mr. Vince. Mr. Vince threatens the guy, then he takes a confident sip, and then when he comes back, the gun is pointing at him here. I'll do this instead. Panic on people's faces. The guy pulled out a gun, everybody has to be like, oh, what the heck happened? I have no idea how to say for this one though, to be honest, but well. Okay, let's have a reaction from one person. He pulled out a gun. You should probably see him. Vince smiles and walks away. Okay, I'm gonna do hero pose. This, I think, would fit our villain for the last shot, and then he walks away. We got it. He's looking back, thinking, I have no time for this, and the guy walks away. This could be the last one, where he kind of gets left alone, and he just looks at the guy. I scared him off, but what now? My life is not over yet, and I'm gonna get in trouble. Now I imported everything to Canva, just to be able to see everything on a single board. If we want to make it a bit more cohesive, what we could do, we could just go and we could turn the saturation off. Done. An idea, right? Basically, I think the way you can look at it is cooking from the scraps. You have to come up with a new idea, but you can only work with whatever you have at hand and however you are able to find it. First storyboard is finished, but now let's move to the second way of making the storyboards. I'm terrible at drawing. I have to simplify every single shape, and I'm not sure if without a reference storyboard, anybody would be able to understand exactly what I'm doing. So I'm not here to teach you how to draw. I'm here to show you how to overcome that obstacle and do something much clearer and easier than just spending a lot of time on mastering the craft of drawing. And here's my best way, and I use a Storyboarder. That is a free app. It's a kind of like a 3D software, but before you get scared of it, I'm going to tell you it's very simple to understand. You can normally just draw everything as you would on the regular storyboard, you could just use this as a canvas and you can go for it. But the way I normally use it is I go to a shot generator and I use this as a 3D software that is very simplified. Here you can create your own scene exactly the way you want to. You could choose an object to create. You can manipulate properties of this object over here, adjust its size, height, all that kind of stuff. But also you could go to this window over here and you can find any objects that are already there generated for you. I'm gonna just create a table. Here on the left side you get a top view of everything. I Command and D to duplicate the object, and then I usually just line them all up here in this view. Now we're gonna do like a bar type of thing. Duplicate another table. We're gonna shift it somewhere over here. Let the other one I'm gonna duplicate and I'm gonna turn it around by 90 degrees. Bang, joined in. Okay, so we have objects. Now let's populate the scene with some people. So you can create character, adult, and here again you have all these different properties that you can find for a person. You can take any of these characters and you can modify their position to whatever you want to do with them. You can adjust the rotation angle, all that kind of stuff. But luckily you don't have to go through the tedious work of finding the perfect position. Instead you can go to these templates over here and you can find some stuff that people are just doing. So let's say, okay, we're gonna find one. Okay, let's turn a person into a female. They'll be flirting with the guy at the table. This guy's just talking. Let's make him do something cool. And now we're just figuring out quickly our actual scene, whoever we need. So we got stools here. Now character, let's make them sit. Okay, maybe he's doing something suspicious there. He's explaining something very intently. Okay, let's fix that guy. We could actually rotate this guy to make him look a bit more. There you go. Here's our bar scene now. The best part about everything is because you're viewing everything through the camera, you can set it up in any position you want. And also, it's a fully customizable camera, so you could decide the lens that you're gonna film that on. That gives you a perfect reference to be ready during the production, you know, what lens do you need for each shot. So let's do it, for example, with a 24mm. Additionally, you could build some walls around it and all that kind of stuff, so let me quickly do this. So one of the best things about this software is you could control the lighting. So if you press on the scene over here, right under the top view, here you can adjust the values of the light within your scene. And this could be very helpful if you want to make some sort of a creative decision with the lighting already. Here I just turn off everything, I keep the directional a little bit. And now you could go to add light, and this is a lamp. And here you can just start positioning these lights the way you want to. Over the table, one of them, there you go, the second one. Don't worry, when we're saving that to the board, these icons are not going to be visible within the shot. So here is our first shot, save that to the board, and then we can move on to our next one. Let's move on much closer. I want to definitely do it lower. And most likely I want to also do it on a different lens, so I'm going to move on to the 35mm. Okay, we have these characters in the back a little bit too lit, and then our characters are a bit too dark. So I could rotate these lights, and now you can see the focal point is much clearer to us. We actually know who we're looking at. Insert as a new board, and this we can now decide what kind of lens we need that close up on. So let's do 84, for example. Would that match our reference? Let's see quickly. We might need to get a little higher. Oh, maybe actually 120 would be a better lens for this. So let's save this one as a new board. And now we wanted to do the fact that he's looking towards the gun, right? Now, if you click at the other guy, sorry, on the zoom, it's very confusing, but I kind of want to keep the same lens now. So if I press on his attributes, we can find the attachable gun here. Let's point the other hand at this guy, rotate it, bang. His left hand would have to hold it, hold pistol, there you go. And now we have our next board. You can dial it in more perfectly and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to show you the point. Then you can use the colors, you can color code all these characters. You could also draw on these if you want. So it is all customizable and you can spend as much time as you want on it, but I think it could be more simple. Also, instead of drawing everything by hand, you can quickly reposition all these characters. If I have time to spend on this and be more meticulous with every detail, then I would do that. But otherwise, you might resort to either a reference board or just drawing it all by hand, but I definitely recommend you checking this kind of stuff out as well, because it might be incredibly useful in the future projects. Here's our reference storyboard, the hand-drawn storyboard, and the 3D rendering of exactly the same scene. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next videos about filmmaking. Thanks a lot. See you soon.